Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 83 of the 476ers podcast. On today's episode, we're talking about last night's Knicks game, so stay tuned.
Yo. Yo. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhyme that are coming from my mind.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 82 of the 476ers podcast. Obviously, we're going to talk about yesterday's Knicks game, a big win for us. Well, not really a big win, but I thought it was a good win. Even though, it definitely seemed through the first three quarters that the Sixers, they wanted, it's clear that when I'm angry or frustrated, that these podcasts come out a little bit spicier, right? It's a little more flavor to the podcast, because I'm out here, I'm ranting and I'm insulting people and I'm roasting people. I'm a good roaster. I consider myself someone who roasts pretty well. I'm like a walking pit roast, you know what I mean? Where you could just put like a giant pig in front of me, and then an hour later of me insulting that pig, it will be roasted, falling off the bone, ready to eat. And it seemed like the Sixers wanted to get that reaction out of me for the first three quarters. They wanted me to roast every single person on the team. But then that fourth quarter was, fucking borderline heroic. I mean, the defense, the defense was fantastic. Let's come down here. I mean, it was pretty clear that for whatever, I don't know what RJ Barrett did to Ben Simmons. I mean, we need some sort of investigation here. What am I doing here? I just keep highlighting things. Okay. I guess my fingers don't work anymore. I don't know what RJ Barrett did to Ben Simmons. He did something to him personal. I don't know if maybe he, flirted with Ben's mother, or maybe his sister, who Ben is on and off beefing with sometimes, tried to have sex with Ben's girlfriend. Maybe is the reason why Kylie broke up with Ben 2 years ago. I don't know. But the Maple Mamba really draws the ire of Ben Simmons for whatever reason, just draws his ire. Ben clearly was just motivated to completely remove him from yesterday's basketball game. And then Toby's a little bit more clear why he's going at Julius Randle the way he was going at him, because Julius got an all-star nod over Tobias. In my opinion, he deserved the all-star nod over Tobias Harris. I mean, I get it, Toby. I get it, and I kind of get why people want him to make it, I guess. But Julius has been fantastic all year, putting up like wild statistical. I mean, just wild numbers. I mean, he's averaging like 26, 11, and 5 assists or something. I mean, he's essentially the center point of their entire offense. And I mean, he's gotten a lot better. So whatever. Toby, I get it. You could be mad at him, but he deserved it. But, ultimately, these two, Ben and Toby, and it's fun watching Ben and Toby because they really, it's fun watching how professional they treat everything. I mean, they treat it like, all right, like they grab their lunch pails, because neither one of them are going to do anything sexy or necessarily like, aesthetically pleasing on a basketball court. There's no crazy moves, even though Ben has had a couple really good. What was it the other, not last night, and I forgot to point this out, was it, what was the last game? What was the last game before we played the Knicks? On Sunday night? Who do we play Sunday night? Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Where Ben had that no-look pass to, was it Matisse that was cutting and got the dunk? I can't remember. I mean, that pass was fucking incredible. I feel like no one reacted to that pass the way they needed to react, because it was a no-look driving between three people, dump off to somebody who cut behind everyone. I mean, it was incredible. But, otherwise, you're not going to see a ton of like real beautiful stuff. And it's not going to be like when you watch Joe going off, and Joe's going off and scoring 50 in every imaginable way possible. It just looks like he's having a good time toying with people. That's not really going to happen here. We're going to see a lot of catch and shoot opportunities. We're going to see a lot of off the dribble, attacking off the dribble, triple threat go, pretty fundamentally. Shoot a lot of contested shots, which was happening. In the third quarter, we were just, in the first three quarters, we were just shooting contested shots constantly. For some reason, we could not wake up until the fourth quarter to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should try getting Toby switched on a Reggie Bullock, or maybe even getting him switched on an Alec Burks, so that he could just post him up and score on him, instead of having him try to constantly drive or try to score on Julius. Not that Julius is a great defender, but considering that, again, as I've said a million times, Toby's not the most explosive guy, doesn't really have a super effective crossover, and though he had that one nice crossover, step back type thing. But that was off the triple threat, a couple, jab steps, and then boom, come back and shoot that three, which I was very nervous about it. Again, to be clear, but, he didn't reach his dribble limit. Just one dribble, and he hit it. So if it was like a 3-dribble thing, it would have been flat. That would have the whole world would have collapsed within itself. The economy would have just the Dow Jones. We would have woke up today to the Dow Jones collapsing faster than the Ottoman Empire, which didn't actually collapse that fast. I'm sorry, that's not really a good. Ottoman Empire lasted for a very long time. Anyway, that's not the point. This is not a history class. So point being, and they just so they, not a lot of sexiness, but Toby definitely. I mean, Toby scores 30. He'll be the player of the game here. Hey, you can really give it to him or Ben. I mean, they're kind of inseparable here. They're both really important, but I'm going to give it to Toby. Toby in the first half, I'm not going to say we're not really sleepwalking, but I think Toby is in the first half playing his role as if we have Joe playing, kind of, you know what I mean? Which is fill lanes, catch and shoot. He's 3 for 3 from 3 in the first half. Scores 13 points, 7 a nice game, still playing really good defense. So he's playing good defense. He plays really good defense all game. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he really gives Julius Randle problems. You know what I mean? Contesting everything. Now, part of this could be because Julius, obviously, they played the night before against the Nets. Tough game, tough loss. I mean, you got to give them credit because they played a tough game against the Nets. They're getting blown out. They make a comeback, and then Julius almost essentially tears down the entire borough of Brooklyn upon the head of that referee. I forgot, Kenny. Was that Kenny? I don't remember which ref that was. For missing he seemed to be. I don't know. I don't know what the call was. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what the call was, and I don't know what that call is. I thought he had to lose the ball before he came down for it to not be a travel. I don't know. Anyway, wanted to kill everyone. It seemed like he was going to murder a family, and then comes back yesterday smiling, the Julius Randle smile, and they come out, they punch us in the mouth. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it seemed like we came out thinking that they were going to roll over on us. And they did not. They play hard defense. They play for Thibs, and they were competing their ass off. They got out. They were getting out and running. But in the fourth quarter, whether it's they got gassed or whether our defense turned up, maybe they got a little bit gassed, like 5% gas. Our defense goes up 5%, and all of a sudden you're seeing them kind of struggle in the fourth quarter, struggle to get baskets. Julius trying to drive and kind of back rimming a lot of shots, but to Toby's credit, none of those shots are open. Every one of those shots is heavily contested. I mean, Toby plays great defense. You know what I mean? And in the second half, while he goes 1 for 4, I think he was 1 for 3. Yeah, 1 for 3 from 3 in the second half. So not as sexy from the 3-point line in the second half as the first half, but starts getting to his spots more aggressively. He shoots a lot of contested shots throughout that third quarter. We're all shooting contested bad shots. And then in the fourth quarter, just starts getting to his spot. You know what I mean? Just says, fuck it, I'm going to get to my spot. And really, makes them pay, start scoring. Ben, in the first half, Ben and Dwight, surprisingly, Dwight loves the fans. I got to be honest. I mean, Dwight with the fans, somehow the fans have turned Dwight back into Orlando Dwight for stretches, where he's just causing havoc defensively, being aggressive, being hyper and super duper energetic. Just look what he is, right? Dwight is essentially a Hall of Fame effort person. He's just a Hall of Fame effort guy. No offensive talent. I mean, he hits that one jumper yesterday. That was a miracle. I mean, what a miracle. Who did you pray to for that? You know what I mean? Who are you praying to have hit that jumper with the clock running down? I mean, okay, whatever, thank you. And just, but his just energy. I mean, he blocks that Julius Randle dunk, and I mean, he essentially banishes Julius to the depths. You know what I mean? He just, I'm surprised we saw Julius come back. I thought his body was going to disappear through the ground, and he would have to go through Dante's Inferno to come back. You know what I mean? Go through all 7 rings of suffering. And Dwight plays great. I mean, Dwight plays great yesterday. 3 blocks, he just causing havoc on defense. And Ben and Dwight score the majority of their points in the first half. Then in the second half, Ben grabs 10 rebounds in the second half. That's crazy. In the first half, he finishes with 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then in the second half, scores less, obviously. Only finished with 16 points, but does all of his rebounding in the second half. 6 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists in the second half. It's essentially the game it's clear, right? They're playing great defense. We're not getting a ton of shots. So we come out the second half. It really come out the fourth quarter because in the third quarter, it's not really clear. We're like still fucking around. We can't figure it out. By the fourth quarter, Ben has decided that, no, we're not losing this fucking game. And that's when Ben gets into, he is like the ultra aggressive, small, little things. He turns into Denzel Washington, just starts focusing on all the little things, and puts out an acting performance in the midst of a average game / movie. And is just playing fantastic. You know what I mean? But plays really does feel those. I mean, completely just gives RJ Barrett hell. I mean, poor RJ. I don't know what RJ's done. I don't know. Somebody, please get a mediator in here because whatever it is. I mean, Ben defended RJ in a way that made me believe that Ben was going to fight him after the game. You know what I mean? Like that type of like, I'm going to defend the shit out of you in a way that I'm going to be aggressively physical with you. And if you don't respond, I'm just going to fight you then. Yeah, I'm going to just beat the brakes off you, RJ. Like, that's it. You have two choices. You're either going to respond to my aggressive defense with your aggressiveness, or I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And that's kind of what Ben kind of does yesterday to RJ for whatever reason. I don't know what RJ's done. We have trouble shutting down Alec Burks. No surprise there. You know what I mean? Again, small guards, can't guard them. We can't guard them. Matisse, it's fine. You know what, Matisse? You're allowed a stupid foul here and there. I'm not even going to be mad at you. You tried. And actually, I thought that was a bit of a ticky-tack foul when I watched it back. I mean, the ball was out for a full beat, before Matisse really touches the end of Burks' hand. Alex sells it, whatever. They get that 4-point play, no problem. There's a couple plays. There's the one foul that RJ that they called Ben for on RJ, which was a terrible call. That RJ misses both free throws. And if ever the ball don't lie, if that ever is real, it showed itself yesterday in the most effective way. Because typically ball don't lie just applies to that first free throw. But this man, a 75% free throw shooter, misses 2 free throws to sit. Not only does ball not lie, it comes back to reiterate that it is telling the fucking truth. And that's fantastic. They also miss a terrible backcourt violation on RJ that Ben is defending, again, hounding him for whatever reason, up the backcourt and up the court, and he gets over the half court line and takes a step back over the half court line. They miss. I mean, it's the most clear as day. They could just miss it. Whatever, no problem. Point is, everyone was playing great defense. Inspired. Shake had a really good defensive play on RJ. RJ tried to kind of bully him, and Shake managed to wrap up the ball, get a jump ball, which thank God, because Shake did nothing else. I mean, our bench, our benches are. The thing is, when you're at home, again, how many times I'm gonna say this? When you're at home, that's what the role players are there for. Role players are there to feed off the crowd and play at home. I can't be at home and Danny is going to come out here and go, well, what do you go? A 1 for 8, 1 for 10. I'm sorry. Danny's going to go 1 for 10. Shake is 1 for 5. That's 2 for 15. Furkan, what a Furkan asshole. To bring that stupid joke back, goes 6 for 27 between these three. That is rough. I mean, Shake, you're going to have to buy a ticket on your own dollar, head back to Tampa. That's where your shot was last time. Is it there still? You know what? It seems like maybe he dropped it off to Tom again, and Tom that Bruce Arians re-signed all of the guys on Tampa Bay, or maybe he said, hey, Bill, I got this shot for you. Why don't you send it to you? And Bill said, oh, word, man, listen, boop, sign all of these skill players to put around Cam, Jonnu Smith, and all Hunter Henry. You got all these tight ends or whatever. Tight ends he signed tight ends like the Knicks signed power forwards. You know what I mean? Whatever, do your thing. And maybe you're gonna have to find where your shot is again. I don't know what happened to it. It's missing again. You know what I mean? It is missing in an embarrassing fashion. I mean, our entire bench just. Outside of Dwight, I mean, it's miserable. Furkan just can't he can't help himself, man. I'm over Furkan. Yeah, I'm over him. I can tell you that. Yeah, I can confidently tell you I'm over Furkan. Listen, God bless Furkan, because he looks like a good kid. I think he's like 22. He looks like a good kid. And here's me, the old head. You look like a good kid. You do, and he has this innocent look on his face that sometimes I feel bad, but it's like, Furkan, how many times are you going to get fouled? How many times are you going to pump fake the three-pointer, draw the foul, and then miss that first free throw of the three-shot free throw? How many times are you going to do that? I've seen him do it at least twice this year already. Twice this year. I would love to know what the stat is for that. How many guys get fouled on a free throw and then proceed to miss one or two of those free throws? Because the last time, right now on 3-point free throws, I'm pretty sure. No, actually, there was one where he did complete all three of them. But I'm pretty sure that if you looked at the stats, he's like, let's see, 4 for 6 yesterday. So he's like 6 for 9 on 3-point free throws, getting fouled at the 3-point line and the free throws that take place after that. I need you to knock those down. I need you to knock those down. I mean, yesterday at free throw, just embarrassing free throw numbers, honestly. 14 for 19. I mean, it just shows you the impact of Joe. You know, I mean, Joe is just with this 14 of 19 with Joe goes to 16 of 33 all of a sudden, 26 of 33 all of a sudden. Ben is back to, kind of not wanting to draw contact. He's missing free throws right now. Over the last 2 games, I believe he's 1 for 5 from the free throw line. It's like coming off the All-Star game, he needs to get recomfortable. I guess we have to wait another month for him to make free throws again. Just is avoiding contact. Even though, you know what, in all fairness, yesterday they were really, I don't know what they saw the Knicks and said, and they had flashbacks. This was the 90s Knicks, and said, we can't call fouls because this is the 90s Knicks and they're going to foul. And so it was physical. It was a physical game both ways. I think that maybe they just didn't want to call fouls. You know what I mean? So, and I did think Ben had drawn a few fouls. There was the 1-and-1 where the only free throw he takes and misses is that 1-and-1 play on Reggie Bullock, which I'm sure Reggie did not. I'm sure Reggie was like, come on, Simone. This is Simone's fault, the ref, because Ben, they call that bad foul on RJ. This is the one that RJ misses both free throws. They call it on Ben. And Ben is like arguing with Simone, not arguing, but like, hey, call this shit. On the other side, he immediately takes the ball and runs full court to prove a point. And he gets the and one on poor Reggie Bullock, who did not deserve that. You know what I mean? I don't know what the Knicks have done. Maybe it's New York. Something has happened. New York has done something to Ben, and Ben is not happy about New York. I don't know. He's just taking out all his aggression on these guys. I don't know what happened. Matisse, interesting stat they pointed out. It's funny because I was wondering, and it's like Mark Zumoff read my mind. I was like, I wonder what Matisse's 3-point percentage is over the last few weeks. And he said over the last month, he's shooting 42%. And I think that's about right. I mean, the more he's playing good defense. A lot of guys, their defense and offense are interconnected. They feed off each other. So if you're playing great defense, you're able to get yourself into a rhythm to play good offense, and vice versa for some other guys. And Matisse, his defense and the trust that the team has in him is allowing him to kind of flourish a little bit. And he's, shooting 3-pointers, a little bit more consistently, I think. So that's good. That's a great thing. Yesterday, his defense wasn't as pronounced necessarily because, their team doesn't. Well, no, I mean, yeah, their team just is weird. I mean, that team doesn't have a ton of perimeter talent. You know what I mean? But they have like Alec who'll go off here and there, and then Reggie can hit some threes, and RJ and Julius are their 2 best offensive players. And then when they have Derrick Rose, he's one of their better offensive players, and quickly has moments, but they don't have anything that's really like no umph. And RJ, obviously, for whatever reason, no reason to put Matisse on RJ because Ben hates him for some reason. So, he's just out there locking him up pretty much single-handedly. So, Matisse doesn't have as many pronounced moments as he did yesterday. He did have a block. I think he did have a steal, too. Or he had 3 blocks yesterday, right? Yeah, he had 3 blocks, 1 steal. It really in that fourth quarter when we're making the comeback, everyone begins contributing to the defense. You know what I mean? I think Matisse probably does most of that damage on defense in that fourth quarter. In terms of statistically, obviously his defense is just generally great, but Seth played well, you know what I mean? Scoring in that third quarter carried us, you know what I mean? We were just struggling to find scoring all game, excuse me, all game. Through the first half, we got, again, Ben and Dwight really scoring for us because obviously Danny and Shake are just out to lunch. And Toby, again, scores in the first half, 13 points in the first half. But then in the second half, when we're looking for scoring, Seth comes out in that third quarter because we can't, for whatever reason, they come out in the third quarter. You're thinking, again, they're coming off a back-to-back. Coming out of halftime, teams on back-to-back, sometimes they can struggle. You know what I mean? You just play 6 quarters in 2 nights. You might come off that rest of halftime and not have your legs underneath. They come and punch us right in the fucking mouth again. You know what I mean? My nose is leaking. I'm sorry. Please don't watch me wipe my nose. It's not of the best. Not a great look. And Seth in that third quarter is the reason why we keep the game close enough to, in the fourth quarter, take over essentially and finish them off, allow Toby to close them out pretty much. But Seth plays great. I mean, he starts hitting 3-pointers, obviously gets a 4-point play, has a couple drives to the rim that are good. This is the Seth we need. This is kind of the Seth that we saw pre-COVID, even though Seth pre-COVID was more consistent, and while in the midst of the game would score more, there was these moments in those beginning, in that first part before COVID, where when we would be looking for who can score, who in the perimeter is going to break down this defense and get us a bucket, Seth would step up. You know, he would kind of do this spot duty where he would show up and, you know, break someone down and shoot them, get off the dribble or come off a screen and hit a little mid-range joint. But, you know, pre-COVID, he's been struggling in every facet of the game offensively. Yesterday, you know, over the last week, he's been improving, still inconsistent. You know, the last game wasn't a good game. This game was a good game. 2 games ago was a good game. So, you know, hopefully he can continue to shake this off. And maybe in the next 2 weeks, we're back to seeing a Seth that was arguably competing for a most improved player, even though, you know, there's so many guys right now that deserve most improved, Julius being one of them. So, you know, hopefully we can see that out of Seth. You know, plays big. Yes. How many assists did he finish with? Just interested here. 2 assists. You know, he does such a good job filling in, you know, because then when there's no Ben, he'll do a good job running the offense. He shows the capability of running the offense, not doing too much. Unlike, you know, Furkan or somebody like that who is habitually doing too much. Furkan, if you get a turnover, right, maybe don't pin yourself against the sideline to possibly go out of bounds and lose the ball, and maybe wait for your teammates to catch up. It's a 1-on-3. You get the turnover, go on a fast break, you're on a 1-on-3. What do you think? Slow down. It's a 1-on-3. It's not a 3-on-1. 3-on-1, push. 1-on-3, don't. Pull. 1-on-3, push. I'm sorry. 3-on-1, push. 1-on-3, pull. All right? Basic. Inhale, right? Inhale on the 1-on-3. Exhale on the 3-on-1. Slow down. All right? Dim the green light a little bit. Turn that like neon green to an olive green for me, right? Slow down. It's all right, man. I got a lot of love for you. You're nice. You look like a nice kid. You know, you're just not playing well right now. But you look like a nice kid. Shake, find your shot, man. I don't know, man. I'm sure right now your shot is probably like you know, the Wire season 2, where they take the police, they take a police van, like the shipping dock guys. They take a surveillance van and put it on a container, a shipping container, and they begin shipping it across the world. And from every location, they send a postcard back to the police chief so he can see where and right now Shake's shot is just sending postcards from all over the world instead of being here with Shake. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's going to shake this one off. You know, I have a feeling that we're not going to see any trades. I think it's going to be a dead trade. That trade deadline, I might be wrong, but I don't know that we're going to make any big trades. I don't think that the Kyle Lowry thing is going to happen. I mean, it could. You know, I just, you know, to the point again that a lot of these teams are standing pat because they're right there fighting for that play-in tournament. I don't know that they may feel the need to get rid of Kyle. You know, unless they really do feel that FVV is the point guard, Fred VanVleet is the point guard, and the way that normal Norman Powell has been playing, he's showing that he deserves to be a starting shooting guard unless he plays us at times. He's normal Norman, even though he's baked us in the past. I don't know why I'm hating on him for. And, you know, they go with like OG at the 3 and Pascal at the 4 and Boucher or somebody else at the 5. I don't know. I don't want to play them anyway, but So unless they feel that way, that, trading Kyle Lowry is just giving space for the younger guys to kind of assume the mantle, I don't know that we're going to see that trade. You know what I mean? Would it help us? Sure. Especially on nights like yesterday, it's easy looking at Danny play this way and be like, man, bye Danny. But he's going to be up and down scoring. We said that we knew that in the beginning of the season. It's his defense that makes him like really important. The defense is he is so switchable. He can play so many positions on defense. Not that Kyle can't, but we get smaller by bringing Kyle in, and having Kyle and Seth playing next to each other gets smaller unless the answer becomes something like, you trade him, bring Seth off the bench, and have Kyle and Matisse and Ben and Toby and Joe. You're taking offense off the court to a certain degree. You're losing some offense, some floor spreading, but obviously Kyle is a better offensive player than Danny. So maybe you could consider that. You would be causing fucking havoc across the court. So that might be interesting. That might be an interesting thought, but we'll see. That's it, everybody. We got the Bucks tonight. That's going to suck. I don't envision us winning that game, but who knows, man? We might. I wouldn't put it past us. I kind of believe in us. So that's it, everybody. You know the drill. Wash your hands. Put a mask on. Stay 6 feet the fuck away from me, or you're going to end up 6 feet under me if you catch my drift. Thugged out entertainment. Black Lives Matter. Arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Take care.
Yeah. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind. Used to come